Now we return to our barbecue road trip that we call Democracy Sausage, and the Byron Bay region may have its perfect beaches, its rich and famous residents, but it's an area not immune to the higher cost of living. John O'Lee and his trusty barbecue are today in Byron Bay in the seat of Richmond. So we go back to John O now. You've been speaking to residents and local businesses there. So what are their key concerns this morning, John O?
Pete, good morning to you. Good morning to everyone at home. Richmond is actually a fascinating electorate. We're at Watergoes Beach, Byron Bay. It's a scintillating area. We've talked a lot about two-tier economy, and it's certainly one of those electorates where you have the extraordinarily affluent and you also have those who are young, keen to influence, often struggling for housing, looking for accommodation. Rents are, again, extraordinarily expensive. It's that sort of two-tiered society we've come to expect in the Northern Rivers. Not that far away, we also saw those who were devastated by Lismore's floods as well, which has kept the flow-on effect as well. So I think the key issue here that people are talking to us and telling us about this morning is the soaring prices of rent and housing and homelessness.
Not all this fiddling around with a few million here and a few million there. We need billions in this country spent on public housing.
The housing crisis, the rent is just ridiculous.
Cost of living is kind of all-consuming. What do we listen to? What's right, and how can we find the reputable source of what to read and believe?
Yeah, Pete, so we caught up with Kimberly Hone, who is the Nationals candidate. This area should actually be Nationals territory. Traditionally it was. It's been held by the Labor Party for the better part of the last 20 years. The Greens are having a serious tilt. They nearly took it last election. 3,500 primary votes was the difference there. So the Greens think they're a strong chance. For Kimberly, though, she made the point, for her it's about housing, listening to people on the ground and finding a way to help and assist people with their own health costs.
We're here to make sure that the Greens' preferences that always get Labor in is paused and stopped.
Do you think the Greens stand a chance?
No, they'll never win here, but they do get Labor in. And we've got to make sure that we hinder that and we drop their vote because the Greens' policies do not help affordable living. They do not help the cost of living.
Yeah, important to point out for people at home, we've reached out to the Labor Party and also the Greens as well to offer them the opportunity to come down here. Neither are able to do it this morning, but we're keen to speak to as many sitting MPs and candidates as possible throughout this road trip. We also caught up with a butcher yesterday by the name of John. We went to Bangalow. It's famous for its pork. Yeah. I'll point out that the pork sausages are a little more difficult to cook. Pork and sage, we'll hide the burnt ones, Pete. That's how we do it in the business. And he was discussing to us about what people do, what people are trying to achieve at the moment when it comes to buying their protein, how they're looking for cheaper cuts, cheaper meats which are slower, take longer to cook but are soft if you cook them over time. Even looking for things like chicken snags, which we've got on the barbie this morning. This is how he explained it.
Chicken's a big seller, but like chicken's lifted in volume.
Is it because it's cheaper?
Yeah, cheaper.
How much has energy or electricity gone up?
Mine's gone up at least 75%.
No way, in how long?
That's in about 10 years. That's a lot of money.
I bet that means you're doing more hours because you don't have to pay someone else.
That's very true, yeah.
Pete, I always know you're keen to discuss proteins and the snags. We've got the traditional beef. We went the pork and fennel, some chicken. I'm a big fan of going the Italian blend herbs on the onions.
Yeah.
Brings a little tang and zest to the morning. And that's how we do it. Watergoes Beach, we had the dolphins. We had another pod. There was a pod of influencers. They were out here this morning doing their stretching, and there were all of these ones.
Things,
they were taking plenty of photos.
Yeah.
But it is a cracking morning, mate. The rain has cleared, and this is how we roll.
I know, and I love it too. Maybe try a little brown sugar in your onions. It kind of caramelizes them and just makes them a little bit sweeter. That's just a little trick of the trade there.
Brown sugar.
And just because people often make the mistake of having too much flame on their sausages and therefore burning them, just in your reference to the pork sausages there. Do you like to go low and slow? Is that how you're doing those there, or is it kind of like a medium heat, Jono?
I thought you were talking to me about a yoga pose for a second there. No, mate. Look, it's because this is back to front. It's hard to be on top of the heat, so sometimes it does get away from me.
Yeah.
I have limitations. I'm learning on the road, and that's what this journey is. It's about a journey of discovery too, Pete.
Yeah, no. Well, you got the Wonder White there too. I think that's a good choice. It's a good bread, the Wonder White. Good stuff, Jono. Thank you. We'll chat.
What stage do?
Yeah, go.
What stage do we break out the goat's cheese?
Oh no, the
What
goat's
stage
cheese
do we-
can, that,
I mean, is
that
that-
can go
is that
anytime.
later?
That can go anytime, but you should also have some cheddar there
Oh,
to give the good people an option if they like. That's always handy as well. Throw it all on. Oh yeah, that's a good goat's cheese too. That one. All right, Jono. While you're
Oh, God, I've
while
made
you're
a
doing
mess.
that, yeah,
Here we
no.
go.
Hello. Yeah, good stuff.